Good morning. Welcome back to Cooking by the Book at the Allegheny Highlands Regional Library. Today we're going to make one of my family's favorites called preacher cookies, or you may know them as unbaked cookies. I grew up in the mountains of West Virginia, and according to the mountain myth, try saying that 3 times quickly, they call them preacher cookies because if you saw the preacher at the bottom of the mountain starting up to your house and you wanted something to serve him before he got to the top, you whip these together, and by the time he made all of the curves and the hills and all that, you had preacher cookies to serve to him. They're very easy. They don't take many ingredients, and probably most of the ingredients you have in your pantry or your refrigerator. You start off, you need a heavy bottom saucepan. You dump your butter in, and to the butter you add 1/2 cup of milk, and in the interest of time I have already measured out, actually Lisa Hicks measured out this 1/2 cup of milk for me. The butter is almost melted, which is good. It seems to cook faster if you let the butter melt first, or almost melt first. And we're using real butter today, margarine is fine. Add the milk, 1/2 cup again, and start stirring. And then you're going to add 1/2 cup of cocoa. You can add the dark if you like, and I've measured that, so I'm just dumping it in. And you know, cocoa tends to be clumpy, so you have to stir a lot. You also want a sprinkle of salt. I think I forgot to put that in the recipe, but anytime you're cooking something with chocolate, salt will make it come out a whole lot faster and easier. And then you add 2 cups of sugar. So that's my 2nd cup of sugar, and I'm going to stir and stir and stir and stir. Now, one thing that I throw in that I've learned to do over the years is I add, well, on the recipe I say 1/4 cup of chocolate or peanut butter chips. That's probably not 1/4 cup. And I'm not measuring it. I am going to wing that. But the only reason I add those is so that the mixture hardens a whole lot faster. Once it starts boiling, we want to time off 2 minutes. But I think it's been 2 minutes, so I'm going to move it off. Not only that, but I'm starting to get hot even with the air conditioning going. All right, you remove it and you stir it well to make sure. You don't want to let anything clump up around the sides. That'll make little hard places, and you don't want that. Okay, once you've removed it, now you're going to add 1/2 cup of peanut butter. This is good stuff. Peanut butter is always good. And by the way, I was just telling Rebecca, if you hate to clean up like I do, because I always have a mess, if you'll just take cooking spray and you just spray that 1/2 cup measure. Oh, and that was a cup, of course. I just messed that one up, but anyway. And you stick your peanut butter in. Yeah, that's pretty good. Then, if you notice, it'll just plop right out. And there's almost no cleanup, which is really, really good. Now, I've used my cup measure, so that means when it comes time to put in the oatmeal, I'm going to have to use the 1/2 cup measure, but it's all good. If I didn't screw things up, it wouldn't be Becky Scott, so that's okay. That's how I roll. All right, so you mix the peanut butter through well. You want to get it mixed in well, but you also want to cool the mixture down a little bit, because when it cools, it's like fudge. The more you stir it, And the faster you make it cool, the better it hardens. After you get the peanut butter mixed in well and you get it cooled down a little bit, you want to add a teaspoon of vanilla. And I forgot to bring over the teaspoon, so I'm gonna wing that. You can probably get away with that. That was more, but anyway, it's all good. So you add your vanilla and stir it in. Again, making sure you pay attention to the side and making sure that you don't get little clumps on the side. Now you're going to add 3 cups of quick oats. And if you look at this, they're still cut oats, but they're also quick oats. I've made these before with the larger oats. It doesn't work as well because it's almost too chewy. And this is probably going to be not chewy enough, but that's okay. So again, I used my cup measure instead of my half cup measure, so I'm gonna measure in 6, so help me count. That's 2. I'm gonna stop and stir. If you put it all in at once, you have to work extra hard, and why would you wanna do that? So about stir it up. That looks pretty good. Now let's add 2 more. Again, this is half cup measure, so it'll be another cup. I'm gonna add 3 cups total. So there's another cup, and I'm gonna stir it again. Trying not to flip it out and make a mess. Oh, it's starting to look good. And you start to see it's getting thick. And you also can see it's getting shiny. It'll get really glossy. The more you stir it, the glossier it'll get. Now time for our last cup. So again, measuring in a half cup at a time. There's that. All right, stir very well, first of all, to get all the oatmeal pieces coated. All right, you notice it's getting really thick and hard, so it's time to start dishing it up. So I'm going to stick the peanut butter in there and get the last little bit off of that. And I'm going to use my spoon and my spatula, and again, less to wash. And I'm going to make cookies. Now, I don't do pretty. That's just how it is. I've never been able to do pretty. But they taste pretty daggone good. But you just smooth them out. Try to make them fairly flat. Not thin, but fairly flat, so that they cool quicker and you can eat them faster. Okay, so you will just finish dishing these up. And again, you're gonna have to work fast because they're starting to harden pretty fast. And once you are finished, you let them cool for about 30 minutes. If you have them on a sheet pan, and again, Rebecca and I didn't want to clean them up, so we didn't use sheet pans today. But if you have them on a sheet pan, you can actually stick them in the refrigerator and it speeds up the process. Or you can just leave them out. If it's a really humid day, sometimes they don't set up very well. So what you can do on that is do stick them in the refrigerator, and after a while they may get hard on top, but they don't get hard on the bottom. Just peel them off of the wax paper, turn them upside down and let them cool a little bit longer, and that seems to work out. So there you are, quick and easy preacher cookies. I just flipped one in the floor, but that's okay. The library mouse will like it too. I'm gonna finish taking these out, making cookies, and then I'm going to take them downstairs and share with the staff because I guarantee you they're going to eat them. Hope you have a good day and join us next time.